Urgent Philadelphia Eagles fans. Do not miss this. What just happened? You won't believe this one. But before we reveal the big news, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because here, we bring you daily videos with the latest Philadelphia Eagles updates. And to not miss anything, activate the notifications. Hey there, Eagles fans! Today, we've got some explosive news that's been buzzing around the NFL and, of course, right here in Philadelphia. If you're like me, you love staying ahead of the game, knowing what's happening behind the scenes, especially when it involves your favorite team. So, let's dive deep into what's been going on around the league and, more specifically, how it might impact the Eagles' plans for the upcoming season. As we all know, the NFL offseason is a whirlwind. Teams are constantly making moves, trying to improve their rosters, address needs, and position themselves for a shot at the Super Bowl. And after the NFL draft, which is always a pivotal moment, teams go back to the drawing board, reevaluate their rosters, and look for opportunities to upgrade. This year, the NFL has been particularly active, with some surprising trades, releases, and signings that could shake things up for several franchises, including our beloved Eagles. Now, one of the biggest stories to emerge recently involves the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Dallas Cowboys. The Steelers, known for their solid draft picks and strategic trades, recently made a move that caught many by surprise. They traded wide receiver George Pickens to Dallas. This certainly sent shockwaves through the league because Pickens, a talented young receiver with a lot of upside, was seen as a key piece for Pittsburgh's future. But the Cowboys, always aggressive in bolstering their offense, saw an opportunity and pounced on it. Pickens now joins a Cowboys squad that's been looking to add more firepower to their passing game, especially after some injuries and inconsistent performances last season. But the story doesn't stop there. The Jacksonville Jaguars, a team that has been steadily improving under Doug Peterson's guidance, made a significant move of their own. Just a few days ago, Jacksonville decided to release wide receiver Gabe Davis after just one season with the team. Now, that's a pretty bold decision, especially considering that Davis was brought in with high expectations. Just last year, the Jaguars handed him a 3-year, $39 million contract, clearly believing he could be a key piece of their passing attack. But things didn't quite work out as planned. Davis struggled to find his rhythm, and after a season of limited production, Jacksonville decided to cut ties, even if it meant taking a $20 million dead cap hit. This kind of move speaks volumes about how the Jaguars are retooling their offense and trying to find fresh options. They're planning to move forward with a promising trio of young receivers, Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter, and Dyami Brown, who are all talented and hungry to prove themselves. For Davis, this situation creates an interesting opportunity, especially considering the Eagles' reputation for being proactive and aggressive in the offseason. Philadelphia has a history of pouncing on available talent that can help push the team over the edge, and Davis could be a perfect fit. Now, here's where it gets even more intriguing for Eagles fans. Philadelphia, as you all know, has been building a formidable roster, especially on offense, where they already boast a dynamic quarterback, Jalen Hurts, and a talented group of receivers, including A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. But the Eagles are always looking for ways to upgrade, to add depth, and to keep their opponents guessing. The recent moves around the league could open the door for the Eagles to make a splash, particularly in the wide receiver room. Let's talk about Danny Gray for a moment. If you've been following the Eagles' offseason moves, you'll remember that Philly added Gray on a reserve/future contract back in February. Gray was a third-round pick in the 2022 NFL Draft by the San Francisco 49ers, but unfortunately, his career there has been hampered by injuries and limited opportunities. Throughout his time with the 49ers, Gray only managed to catch one pass for 10 yards, and he spent quite a bit of time on IR before being waived. So, it's fair to say that Gray's NFL journey has been somewhat underwhelming so far. But here's the thing, Gray is still young, only 26 years old, and has a lot of potential to develop. Still, given his limited production, it's easy to see why the Eagles might be considering other options. And that's where Gabe Davis comes into play. Davis, a fourth-round pick by the Buffalo Bills, has shown he can be a reliable target when given the opportunity. Over his 4 seasons in the league, he's caught 183 passes for almost 3,000 yards and scored 29 touchdowns. That's pretty solid production, especially for a receiver who's still relatively young. Davis has gone over 500 yards receiving in 4 different seasons, and he's proven he can make key plays down the field. So, why would the Eagles be interested in Davis? Well, for starters, he wouldn't demand a huge contract on the open market, which is always a plus for a team that's mindful of the salary cap. More importantly, he could be a perfect fit to add depth and explosiveness to Philadelphia's passing attack. Imagine the kind of boost he could give to Jalen Hurts, especially in third-down situations or red zone opportunities. Having a receiver who's experienced, reliable, and capable of stretching the field is exactly what the Eagles need to keep defenses honest and open up more options for their offense. Now, let's pause here for a moment. Pause here, just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Philadelphia Eagles news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick, and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now, let's continue with the big reveal. Okay, back to the story. While nothing is set in stone yet, the buzz around the league suggests that the Eagles are definitely monitoring the situation. They're always looking for ways to improve their roster, especially at the receiver position, where they want to ensure they have enough weapons to complement Jalen Hurts' dual-threat ability. With the NFL draft behind us, teams tend to shift focus towards free agency and trade possibilities, and Davis could be a low-cost, high-upside addition that makes a lot of sense. And let's not forget the broader context. Philadelphia's offense was already one of the most potent in the league last season. Jalen Hurts took a massive leap forward, becoming not only a dual-threat quarterback but also one of the most dynamic playmakers in the league. A.J. Brown became a true WR1, often making highlight reel catches, and Devonta Smith proved he's one of the most reliable wideouts in the game. But in the NFL, depth is key, especially with the physical toll a season can take. Having a versatile, experienced receiver like Davis could be the spark plug that helps push the Eagles even further in their quest for a deep playoff run. Now, of course, there are some questions. Will the Eagles actually pull the trigger? Will Davis be interested in joining a team that's already loaded, even if he's coming off a less-than-stellar season? It's possible that Philadelphia could look at other options, maybe even look to trade for a veteran or bring in competition for the younger guys. But the fact remains, the opportunity is there. With the league's wide receiver market being quite active this offseason, and teams making moves left and right, the Eagles are in a unique position to capitalize on this chaos to strengthen their roster. And, speaking of the Eagles' recent history, it's worth noting just how aggressive Howie Roseman and the front office have been in recent years. They're not afraid to make bold moves, whether it's trading draft picks, acquiring players via free agency, or making trades close to the start of the season if they believe it will give their team a competitive edge. This current window, with a talented core led by Hurts, and a strong supporting cast, is ripe for such moves. The Eagles have built a team that's not only talented but also versatile enough to adapt to different game plans and opponents. Looking ahead, the upcoming season promises to be one of the most exciting in recent Eagles history. The team has the talent, the coaching staff is among the best in the league, and the culture has been transformed into a winning environment. But football is all about execution, depth, and sometimes a bit of luck. Adding a player like Gabe Davis could be that extra piece that pushes the Eagles from playoff contenders to Super Bowl favorites. Imagine the possibilities: Hurts, Brown, Smith, Davis, and the rest of the offense working in harmony to dismantle defenses week after week. And let's not forget, the NFC is wide open this year. The Eagles have a real shot at making a deep playoff run, but they'll need every piece to fall into place. Depth at receiver, especially someone who can stretch the field and make contested catches, is crucial. Davis has the size, the speed, and the production to be that guy. Plus, his familiarity with the league and his ability to step in and contribute immediately make him an intriguing option for Philadelphia's front office. In conclusion, the NFL offseason continues to be a roller coaster, and the Eagles are right in the middle of the action, always looking to improve and stay ahead of the curve. Whether or not Davis ends up in Philadelphia remains to be seen, but the signs point to a team that's actively exploring all possibilities to give themselves the best shot at a championship run. The league is changing fast, and the Eagles are ready to adapt, to strike when the moment is right, and to keep their fans excited and hopeful for what's to come. And now, Philadelphia Eagles fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think adding Gabe Davis would be the move that takes the Eagles' offense to the next level? Or are there other targets you'd like to see the team pursue? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Eagles organization. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, rumors, and analysis, so stay tuned for the latest Philadelphia Eagles news. We're in the heart of the offseason, but trust me, the excitement is just beginning. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and as always, go Birds!